Hi, my name is Chavez. I'm an attorney in Los Angeles, California. I have an office in Beverly Hills. My practice serves most of Southern California, the 4 major counties. I wanted to talk a little bit today about mediation. I'm generally a criminal defense practitioner, but I came to the law as a mediator. The short story is I was a mediator on assignment through the court systems, and I kept getting set in situations between attorneys who would wonder why I was not an attorney. And the judges that were assigning cases to me mentioned, you might want to think about becoming an attorney. So that's why I originally went to law school. So I brought my mediation experience to law school, and then as an attorney now I bring my mediation experience to the practice of law. What I have found is that attorneys in general, when entering the mediation arena, are more adversarial than they need to be. As a mediator, I experienced that. And as an attorney, I go into mediation with a different hat on, so to speak. And I offer that to both consumers and to other attorneys as a service. Just to give you an example of how this works out, I've had about 7 or 8 cases in the last 2 years where I have actually sat in on mediations to bring about a successful conclusion when other attorneys in the room were actually being more adversarial. There was one case that I'm in the middle of right now involves a business contract that went south, and there are approximately 7 parties involved in the lawsuit that's taking place. Cross complaints and complaints, originating complaint and a cross complaint coming back and forth, and I'm representing one party, and it was me who brought them all into the mediation because this is a case that's ripe for mediation. And so the mediation process requires a different persona in the room, not someone who's ready to go at it full-throated and for bloodlust. It's someone who's looking for a successful conclusion while protecting their client's rights and obtaining their client's goals. So that's something that I want to talk about a little bit and how to get to that point. The adversarial method, and I'm going to relate this story from one of my own mediations. There was an incident that took place. I won't go into the details of the case, but all the parties in the room, save one, were all attorneys, including the 2 opposing parties. So there were 2 parties that were an attorney, and then an attorney who was representing one of the attorneys, and then on the other side was the attorney party and his girlfriend. And there was so much opposition in the room to actually being in the mediation that we actually had to separate them and put them in separate rooms for a while before we could actually bring them together to have the discussion. And at one point, the woman in the room actually had to get up and walk out because she was so nervous about all the anger that was in that room. So it's really important when you're coming into a mediation to understand that, one, it's a healing process for the relationship, but more important, it's a healing process for the issue, so that people can solve the issue, find a conclusion that they're happy with, and walk away knowing that they got the best deal that they could get, even without having an arbitrator or a judge or any other fact finder come to a decision for them. They get to own that position. If you're adversarial in that situation, you take that away from your client. You don't let your client have that close because you're not letting them have the moment to vent. And that venting period during mediation is the most important part, when the 2 parties can look at each other and say, I'm angry for this reason. And an attorney who's adversarial is not going to let that happen properly. You have to let that take place so that a client feels as though they've been heard, their rights have been protected, and that they've been able to obtain the goal that they were seeking in the first place.